6 common interview questions on HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React. The first question on HTML is, what is the difference between inline block and block elements? Well, the answer is, in an inline element, we cannot set its height and width, and it will never start on a new line. An inline block element does not start on a new line, but we can set its height and width. And lastly, a block element is always started on a new line, and we can definitely set its height and width too. And that's the difference between inline block and block elements. Well, the second question is on CSS, and that is, what is a CSS preprocessor? What are some benefits of SAS? Well, the answer is, CSS preprocessor is such a technique of writing CSS like a programming language. We can implement variables, functions, loops and other programming concepts in CSS with the help of CSS preprocessors. SAS is the mostly used CSS preprocessor, and we can empower our styles and experience a programming language flavor with SAS in a great way using mixings, includes and some other functionalities. Well, now we will ask you questions from JavaScript. The third question is, tell me about call, bind and apply. The answer would be, bind, call and apply is used to set a function's execution context as the situation demands. If we want to run a function under a specific context, we can use call, apply and bind. Call and apply calls the function immediately, but bind returns something to be stored as a variable in a variable, and we can use it later when we need. The fourth question on JavaScript is, what is closure in JavaScript? How does it work? Well, a function can access its outer enclosed functions variable even after the outer function's execution has been finished. The way the inner function accesses the outer enclosing scopes variables is called closure. Closure is useful when someone needs a private state associated with a function. Now we can ask you the fifth question from React. Tell us the differences between props and state in React. Well, the answer is, state is an internal thing of a component and states are controlled by the component itself. But props are external things and controlled by whatever renders the component. Another big difference is state can be changed, but props are immutable. That's why we can't change props. And the last question, the sixth question is, why does React use class name over class attribute? React uses class name instead of class as attribute because class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, and as JSX is an extension of JavaScript, they may conflict. That's why React uses class name instead of class. And that's all the 6 questions from HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React. Thank you.